What is up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And tonight we have to take a look at the BTC chart and discuss the action at hand. We have just broken the critical support level and we are on the 4-hour chart. So we're going to break this down, have a look, and talk about what the future could hold. This, of course, is not financial advice. But we are just going to lay out the possibilities and discuss the probabilities of where things could go and talk about the overall market sentiment during these troubled times with war going on between the Ukraine and Russia. So here we are on the 4-hour chart where we see that the Bitcoin price is currently at 37,634 and we have broken the bottom of this middle support and resistance zone. Now, the zone goes between 37,951 and tops out right at the point of control price, which is 38,353. I did not think that we were going to bounce down and test this level after it appeared that we bottomed out at 39. And a lot of people were very bullish and thinking that we were going to sail right back up through the upper support and resistance zone. But we took a turn for the worse, went down, bounced at the bottom of this channel, came back up, bounced down again, and failed it. And we did not stop to take a breath at the bottom of the channel. Therefore, there is a good possibility that we could come on down to the next support resistance zone that bottoms out at 35,765, and the top of this zone is at 36,450. Now, if that one doesn't hold, we could sail on down to the bottom one that is at 32,235 and tops out at 32,805. What are the chances of this happening? I don't know, but I will be watching this trend line and this trend line that makes the jaws of life formation, as some people call it. Other people call this a megaphone formation. And when we bounce around between these, they generally will break to the upside when descending, although I thought we were going to break to the downside. But as we can see, once we got up above the upper descending line, we bounced on it as support, and then there was the rip. We went on that rip, and everything got pulled up across the board in the crypto market. But now we're in the middle of a slide, and it's looking kind of ugly. Why? Well, first of all, if we look downstairs at the stochastic, we see a very weak stochastic where we have a definite crossover right here where the fast line has overtaken the slow line. And even though the MACD was looking like it was ready to bottom and level off here, where we were approaching the zero line here, we seem to have printed one lone dark red bar on the histogram, which says that we could have a reversal in direction where it's going to start heading down again. Now, we do see a slight divergence of the fast line and the slow line right here, where we were getting a hint of a crossover, where we were thinking that this blue line, the fast line, was going to cross over the slow line. Hang on a second. Let's make that blue. Here we go. This is what I thought was going to happen right there, and it did not happen. They opened back up and are headed down. So that is the outlook on the 4-hour chart. And what troubles me the most is that we are dropping below this great big volume node that is at the POC price, which is the volume profile of the visible range, or the volume at a particular price, not at a particular time. That's why it's out here on the profile and not at the bottom. So the point of control price, this node at 38,386, we're going below it, which would tell me we could pop down to this next lower node. And if we fail that one, we could blow straight through this support resistance zone down to this node here that peaks out at about 35,000. If we fail that, all bets are off. We're going to test this lower level down here. Now let's clear this out and go to the 1-day chart and see what it looks like from that standpoint so we can get some more evidence. As we jump into the 1-day chart, it's looking Pretty ugly, actually. Let's clear out the previous designations there. And here we can see that we have blown through this support resistance zone, and we're coming off of this great big volume node right here. And there's not much below. We have a slip zone that takes us down to that 32,000 level. Okay, so on the 1 day, I'm not very confident. And we see that the stochastic has peaked out and it's headed downward. Let's make that red for dramatic effect. There we go. So we had the crossover. Momentum is downward. It looks like it's curling up a little bit, but chances are we could make it down here into the oversold zone. And if we do, I think we're going to blow straight through this next resistance and test the bottom one. Now, where the bottom can be, I don't know. But the stochastic is bearish and the MACD is bearish. Okay, both of these are sharing the same sentiment. Let's scrunch down this MACD so we can see overall what's going on. And we notice that after the peak way back here near the end of October, the overall trend is down. So we went down for a while to this low point. We started to move back up and then came back down, had two more bottoms. Then we came up above, finally, into the green zone above the zero line. But the overall direction is doing what? It's going down when we connect the dots. That's a downward trend. So that doesn't leave me much confidence that we're going to find a base point here and just automatically start to move back up. Now, let's look at the 1 week chart real quick, and then we'll talk about sentiment. Okay, where is my 1 week? What are we doing here, guys? Where's the 1 week? It's not popping up there. I don't know why that's happening, but the 1 week chart, which I really wanted to make a point by that, and I don't know why this is not playing along here. But anyway, we'll have to stop on the 1 day. General sentiment right now is looking bearish because if we have a weekly close with a bearish red candle, then that says that momentum is going to continue downward and people are starting to talk about bear market. Okay, so if it's a bear market, that means a continuation of this overall long downward trend after this pop up here to the $65,000 range back in November. But as you can see, we're still in this channel popping up and down within these two parallel lines. That's what I call the downward trending parallel trade channel. And we could sail all the way to the bottom of that channel. Who knows how far it could go? I don't know. So don't take my word for it. Nobody really knows. But the one thing that I do know is that I've noticed that a lot of people have been calling the market wrong. What have we been seeing lately? After we had this first major correction off of this high point, when we came to this point, everyone said the bull market is back. And then they got doom and gloom, scary sentiment went down. The fear and greed index skyrocketed when we had this dip. And it stayed that way until we got to this bottom. When we got to this point, everyone was saying we're going to 20,000. What happened after that? Major rally. So then everyone said the bull market is back. Until this point when we took the next dip and everyone said the bear market is back in again. We hit this low point, broke out of the jaws of life formation. And of course, like clockwork, everyone said the bull market was back. Now here we are again with another dip. Now what's the point of me bringing this up? I bring it up to tell you that you have to be careful listening to the prognosticators on YouTube because they don't know what is going to happen. And time again, we hear people that report fundamental news and think it's going to affect the price. Case in point, how many videos have you seen in the last 2 weeks where everyone is screaming about a certain cryptocurrency project saying that it's ready to break out to the moon? What project am I talking about? ADA, Cardano. How many videos? I don't know. I lost count. I think I've seen at least 4 where they had me believing that this is the breakout point for ADA, that at this point we can expect to see an explosion to monumental proportions. But when we go to the ADA chart, let's just look at it and see what we see. We'll look at the Bitfinex chart. Overall downtrend, nothing going on with price but dipping, sitting at 81 cents despite all of the amazing, glowing fundamental news. So I always say, show me the news and I'll show you the chart to match the news, because the charts tend to dictate the action, not the news. And people tend to get that twisted and think that it's the news that governs the price action. I'll believe that when I see it, and I haven't seen it in the last 30 years that I've been involved in stock trading. So we'll just have to wait and see. In altcoin action, we're seeing an overall downtrend happening with Matic dipping down, looking bearish. Solana is down to $82, looking bearish. KDA came up off of this last little peak. This is just an overall downtrend. It's looking very weak. And the more and more I look at it, the more I'm starting to think that we could be entering into a bear market, with Flux at $1.33. Chainlink coming all the way down to $12.85. I mean, this is just insane. Here's another one. Let's look at Uniswap. Here is the Uniswap Binance chart, dipping down to $8.29. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought? Now, what are the possible moves that we could see within the next few months? I think that we could see a bounce back off of one of these support resistance zones, where we could shoot up and test this point of control price, maybe even as high upwards of, say, 45,000, and see another dip. Some people are thinking that we don't even make it up that high. But all we can do is watch the volume nodes, because the volume profile nodes always let us know where the next possible price point could happen, as they tend to snap up the action and they're magnetically attracted to these nodes. For example, we're sitting at this node right here. The possibilities are jumping up to the top of the channel at this node or jumping down to the next one below. I tend to think that we're going to come up again before we go down. So we'll have to wait and watch. But overall, the trend is down. And they say the trend is your friend until the end. So until that point, I'm going to show you what governs my opinion of this market. It's this parallel line, this set of parallel lines right there. Now we're going to bounce up and down throughout this parallel trading channel. And until we break the top of it, I am not going to get overly excited. But what I will do, let's make this one green. If we break through, that's going to be our indication when we come through this channel. I think that's when we'll see the next bull run happen. And I don't know if the cycle is done or if this is a part of the cycle and that these cycles are extending in time. Time will tell. But what I can do is this. DCA, dollar cost average. And the thing is, if you're buying a small amount every month for years on end, you're going to win. And you're going to do a lot better than the people who sit around and try to time the bottom. I have missed out on so many bottoms. I missed out on this one because I thought we were going to go lower down to this zone. And then we had that big break. I missed out on this little low point here because I thought it was going to go lower, and then we broke higher. Then we came down to here. I didn't buy here because we went higher again. I really missed out on this one, and then we shot up higher again. I did it again, missed out on this one. So I'm going to start to dollar cost average and just pick up what I can. And the advice is to never buy stuff that you can't afford to get if you're playing with money that you need to pay the bills. All right? Not financial advice, of course, but be careful. So that's my outlook for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole. I think we got a little bit further down, some south moving action yet to come before we can say that we have finished out this correction period. That's all I've got for now. I'd love to hear your comments. Do you think that we are about to enter into a bear market? Or do you think we've bottomed out and we're about to finish the cycle that we thought was the bull run? Let me know in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And thanks for taking time out of your day to watch. That is all I've got for now. This is Carlton, and I am out.